I believe if there was ever a time that some of us, many of us, if not all of us, needed a breakthrough, that time is now. If there was ever a time when we needed a breakthrough, that time is now. I'm talking about a time now when we don't just say, is there a word from the Lord? But a time when we really need a word from the Lord. That time is now. Somebody say now. Because if you look around, if you just step back and take an assessment of the varying situations and circumstances in your life, you'll have to admit. I mean, there ain't nobody here but us today. He let the folk who wasn't serious stay at home, just the serious saints here today. And if you look around, you just have to admit today that things really don't look all that good right now. I mean, can we just be for real? Can we just be honest? Things really don't look all that good. In fact, some situations are actually looking worse. They ain't looking good right now. Stuff looking mighty bad. And I'm not trying to be cliche-ish, not even trying to be rhetorical, but this is one time today that if I ask, is anybody going through something right now? Is anybody having difficulties right now? Is anybody going through some trials and tribulations right now? If I ask that today, I'm sure that everybody will probably raise their hand because we all are going through something. Is anybody going through something today? So let me help us. I'm just going to jump right in here because the first point, I don't even have a real build up. The first point that I want to give you, if you're going through something, if you're experiencing difficulties right now, I need you to understand that even in the midst of the difficult times that you're facing, the hand of the Lord is still upon you. I told you I'm just going to jump in here. You got to catch it. Even in the midst of the difficult times you're facing, you need to know today that the hand of the Lord is still upon you. Okay. The text says, the hand of the Lord, says Ezekiel, came upon me and brought me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, and it was full of bones. Stop right there. Let me get you right here. Because after you understand that the hand of the Lord is still on you, the next thing I got to tell you is that just because you find yourself in unfavorable circumstances does not mean that the hand of the Lord is not on you. Yeah. Just because you're in unfavorable circumstances doesn't mean that his hand is not on you. Which means that then it may not look like it. It may not feel like it. But what you're going through is necessary to get you where God is trying to take you. See, I knew this is the right message because the serious saints, I got to get this. What you're going through, what you're dealing with, what you're in the midst of is actually necessary for where God is taking you to. Oh, yeah. Because in the midst of the situation, in the midst of the circumstance, you're going to get something out of it that you would not have gotten had you not gone through it, that you will need where God is leading and taking you to. If you're going to prosper in this season, I ain't talking about what happened last season. I'm talking about this one. If you're going to prosper in this season, if you're going to have the victory in this season, if Satan is going to be defeated and Jesus exalted in this season, you're going to have to stay in the spirit. Because what you need to see, what you need to know, what you need to hear is in the spirit. Oh, yeah. And when he gives it to you, it will be totally and completely contradictory to what you see and hear in the flesh. They missed it. Let me give it to you again. You got to see, know, and hear in the spirit, because what God will release to you in the spirit is totally and completely contradictory to what you see and hear in your flesh. The text says the hand was on him. He brought him out. He set him down. And then when he looked around, God had set him down in a place that was full of stuff that used to have life. Now, I got a question, Bishop. If the hand of the Lord is on me, if he done brought me out and delivered me, why would he take me and put me in a place that's worse off than where I was if his hand is on me? I'm trying to understand this, child. I was content where I was. I was satisfied where I was. Everything was going the way it was supposed to be where I was. Everything was cool, copacetic, but then God, with his hand on me, y'all missing this. His hand is on me. His hand is on my life, Grant. He takes me and puts me in a place that's full of dead stuff. Ain't nothing living. Why would God put me in the middle of some dead stuff? Isn't it strange how God will bring you out of stuff? He will deliver you from places that you were content in, you were comfortable in, you were satisfied there, and then set you and put you in the midst of something that is just getting on your last nerve, because ain't nothing moving, ain't nothing going nowhere, ain't nobody trying to do no better, and he put you in the middle of nothingness. Tell your neighbor right here, I know what it's looking like, but stay in the spirit, stay in the spirit. I know ain't nothing happening, but stay in the spirit. I know ain't nothing moving, but don't get in a hurry, stay in the spirit. You got to stay in the spirit, because God started it and he's going to finish it. Because he who began a good work in you shall perfect it. He shall accomplish it. He shall complete it. He shall finish it until the day of Jesus Christ's return. Tell your neighbor, if he started it, he's going to finish it. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to look for it. It's coming. Because God will never take you and put you somewhere that he intended to leave you. And then in verse 2, he calls me to pass by them all around. This means that in verse 2, that God actually initiated a cycle. He initiated a cycle. Yeah, a cycle where, because you was just going around and around and around. Bishop says all the time, God will take you in circles so he let you go back. God actually initiated a cycle where he had Ezekiel just walking around and around and around looking at where he put him. Yeah, here we go, my next point. Sometimes God will let you go through the same thing over and over just to make sure you're sick of it before he brings you out of it and delivers you from it. Some stuff you keep going through because God trying to make sure that you're sick of it before he takes you to where he wants you to be. Because when you get there, you ain't going to have time to be ducking and dodging and peeping and creeping and drinking and smoking and sleeping over here and dipping over there and dabbling over here because of where he's trying to take you. So what he'll do is he'll let you go around and around through the same thing over and over till you get sick of it before he takes you out of it. Some stuff you keep going through is actually necessary so he can get it out of your system. All right, next point. Some stuff doesn't need to be thrown away or done away with just because it's not working at the moment. See, that's why some folk, especially married folk, y'all can't be tripping because you're going through a few bumps in the marriage right now. Just because ain't nothing happening now don't mean can't nothing happen again. Ooh. So you trying to throw away something that just at the moment may not be working right. But God is asking if you in the spirit, based on what you see, can these bones live?